Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in on episode 5. Today, I have my good friend and co founder and CEO of We Are Social Media joining with us, Geoff. I'm going to put in this two shot of us. Geoff, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's up?
Nothing, just, another day in quarantine life. I know some people have been counting down the days of how long they've been. To me, like, an hour feels like 24 hours, and sometimes a minute feels like, I don't know. So I have no sense of time, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good. Yeah. I mean, just I think it was 2 nights ago. I walked until like 3 a.m. Didn't even realize it was like that late.
Yeah.
It's just like, but you feel it in the morning, you know?
Exactly. Uh, Times are going crazy. So, I know who you are. I know we've been good friends, and I can tell your story, but I think it would be better coming from you. So, introduce yourself to the live stream.
All right. So I'm Jeff. I'm French. I'm sure by now you already all know that. Uh, so moved to the US in 2017. That's actually when we met, Houston.
Hmm.
Although we had been like Twitter buddies for a while before that. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and like Tony said, my main pastime is working on the We Are social media, creating content, trying to bring the news to everybody out there, and I'm working on some cool, fun projects that hopefully are gonna come out soon.
Yeah. So, talk to me right now. Like, everybody's been wondering, or everybody's been asking what's like the big trends that are happening and things like that. What have you seen that's kind of going overboard in the last 2 months on social media?
Uh, I mean, why doesn't social media? I think what's really been fun is how we finally realized we were not a digital society, and we're finally becoming a digital society. So 2 months ago, outside of people walking in the field, nobody knew what Zoom was, and now we're on Zoom right now.
Yeah.
And I've had happy hours on Zoom. I've had client meetings on Zoom. I went to parties on Zoom. You got this like quarantine club or whatever going on in New York.
Yeah.
Uh, like, this is crazy. Um, but and in terms of social media, I actually think I'll be honest, I expected more. Just today, Messenger finally rolls out Messenger Rooms. I think that's going to be big. I think it's going to be very interesting. But people were really like surfing the wave, and like there was all these like trends and TikToks. Everybody was going
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
weeks of lockdown, and then people just got bored, and that's why you see. I actually feel like we see less content on social media than ever because
Yeah.
people are stuck at home, and well, suddenly your life at home is not as sexy and exciting as your Instagram life in New York City or LA or whatever,
Hmm.
and we see a lot less content. But just today, I woke up and I
Yeah.
saw that Facebook just bought Giphy
Yeah. Yeah.
for $400 million, and I'm like, I get it, I get it. All these apps that are not Facebook and are integrated with Giphy now.
Hmm.
Well, get ready, guys, because that's going away soon.
It's funny that all you're bringing up a very interesting point because from a lot of the media metrics that I'm seeing and getting briefed on is how much more people are on social media, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're creating more content or like
Yeah,
content that is more social friendly and stuff like that because we're all stuck at home. And I think you're bringing up a very interesting point here, which is that user behavior and like monthly active users or how much time spent is one thing. Creating content that's not just boring is another thing, right? And
yeah,
creating really good content and having an elevated strategy. And I love that you're making a point like, you're a little disappointed. You thought there would be more creativity coming out of here
yeah.
or there's more interesting things and that's happening. And, I have my thoughts on that, but I would love to see why you think that's happening and why we're not pushing innovation that much at a higher rate.
I mean, there's surely there's an element of psychology here. Like people are like anxious and worried and stressed, and I get that a lot of people are worried about making money right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that leaves less space for creativity and doing things, and it's more about like need to make a paycheck. So that's one thing. Um, it also shows, I think, that a lot of the content we used to see every day on social media, especially like platforms like Instagram,
Yeah.
is led by influencers.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all read the reports, or like the industry's been collapsing because there was just like no work for influencers right now.
Yeah.
So and like suddenly you see more of like, you know, your neighbor's kids and your like cousin back home or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but it's not exactly what I want to see either.
Right.
But I think it's yeah, I said disappointed because I hear and I have a lot of my friends who work in creative industries and have been furloughed or lost their jobs or anything. And I'm like, guys, now is the time. You know,
Yeah.
look at my friend Tony. He's doing his live episodes now every week. You know, like it's now
Yeah.
is the time to do things. And there's so much things we can also do to help others. You know, like it's like use this creativity to do things and give shout out to your local store who is doing something cool, and or your local restaurants who's like struggling and doing takeaway. Or and all I've seen is Instagram doing a bunch of stickers, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
cool. We're not gonna change the world with a bunch of stickers, but at least you're doing something.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I think you're, you know, I never really articulated this, but what I found disappointing was that social media really shine light to a lot of people who are as entrepreneur or have a lot of hustler spirit in them. They've only kind of like bluffed and kind of acted a certain way. And then once the
yeah,
pandemic hit, what kind of happened was everybody was just like, they kind of folded, right? Like all of a sudden, the
yeah,
things that they were doing didn't show up, and I felt like a lot of brands also did that too, right? So I was very,
yeah,
it wasn't more disappointed. It was more, I think, social media shed light to what I thought was a lot of people not being able to dig themselves out of a hard situation, and I was a little
yeah,
disappointed overall. And to be fair, I think I was one of those people too. And then it just kind of made me realize, like, no, I'm doing fine. I am healthy. I'm employed. I have all this time. Do something, right? And I think,
yeah.
you know, I think you're spot on, and I think you're one of the few voices that have said that during this time. So I really appreciate that you not only sharing that but articulating it very well.
But I get it. It's you know, when it started, I had all these plans as well. Ever since, and you actually had a big influence on that when we were working together and you were working
Yeah.
around with your camera. I was like, man, I want to do more video and I want to learn like video editing and stuff. And I signed up for this master class and stuff. I just didn't get to do it. It's like it's how you started this concept of time. It's just like gone, and you feel like we should have more time than ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I have less time than ever
Yeah.
because personally, I like structure. You know, like I don't have that much structure when I just like wake up in the morning and all the way to time it's going the time to go back to bed. It's like it's just one big blur of everything I do, and I do things, but it's just like not structured enough. Whether when I had to like go out, grab the train, go to work, come back home, get shit done before it was like dinner time, you know, and so I'm disappointed, but I get it because, like you, I'm also part of these people who feel like I should have done more.
Yeah. 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 The Speaking of kind of like what you do in your spare time, I mean, you know, you also have a full time job and you're doing We Are Social Media. Like, you know, one of the things that always kind of impressed me was how you manage your 24 hours, right? Like your job is definitely not a 9 to 5 situation, right? And then you still run
Right.
a site. So, you know, talk to people a little bit about what the site is, how you ended up starting it, and kind of like what's the daily process of running a site of the magnitude that you're running.
Right. First of all, I think I'm gonna say is the way to do it is keep the things that you know you absolutely have and want to do for last in your day, because these are the things that you get that you know that's a way to get motivated when it's late at night and you're tired and you would want to go and watch Netflix or you would want to go and lay down and do nothing. But for me, it's like no, I want content on my site tomorrow, so I'm gonna stay up and I'm gonna create some content.
Love that.
If I did that in the morning, then everything else is more difficult because I've done what I really want to do. But yeah, the site, I mean, as a brand, it's actually going to be 9 years old in September.
Damn.
Uh, but it started just as a Facebook page all these years ago, just sharing content from other sources. And then I started writing, and then some people joined me and started writing. And now it's like, it's a second full-time job. But it's nice because I've learned so much from it. Even like for my day job, I've learned, you know, like how to manage a website and how to work with a DSP for ads on your website and how to grow communities and how to grow this community and share more and do more content and recycle content. And
Yeah.
you just learn so much. My first experience with paid media was doing it for myself.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than that because, well, you don't have a boss, so sorry, but like if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. So what?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's no pressure. But yeah, on a daily basis, it's start in the morning, bit of community management, see who sent messages, who commented, is there anything we need to answer or deal with, or anything fun we want to check out. I have the chance of working with a partner who is in Europe. So when I wake up, he's already done some work. So that's also like allows us to be a bit more 24/7, But and then I look for like some cool content to share on social, some ideas to write the news. And normally I would go to work and do that, but now that I work from home and actually a bit less days as well, I get
Yeah.
to write more. So I just hit it going, just start writing content, sharing content, and then the part I don't like is all the admin that comes with it. So
Yeah.
you have to to pay people. So like we work with the SEO guy, so I have to pay the SEO guy, and he's in Germany, and like the US doesn't really like the IBAN system, so paying invoices is always complicated.
Yeah.
And then you have to jump on a call with your bookkeeper and do taxes and do bench, and it made me realize that the really hard part of being an entrepreneur is all these things that you never thought you would have to do,
Yeah.
but you have to do, and only few of us have the luck to be so successful you can actually pay people to do it. So, but it's like I said,
Yeah.
I started with that because the fun part of creating content, I know I'm gonna do it even if it's 1 a.m. and I'm really tired. I'm gonna sit down and do it. But at 1 a.m., guess what? I'm not gonna be doing bookkeeping.
Yeah, no, it's funny. When I first started the Intrepid long time ago, I wanted to do it because I wanted to create the content that I wanted to create, right? The things that I enjoyed and loved doing, and wanted to have it because there was no other form. And then what I realized, like really quickly into it, is like then all of a sudden I was responsible for other people on the team, and then there was all the admin stuff that you would have never thought of doing, and it just made me give so much more respect to not only like leaders and teams, but like to your point exactly, not most entrepreneurs, like 99% of them, aren't fortunate enough to hire all these people to do all the things that you don't want to do, but
Exactly.
you have to learn how to do it. And it's a lot of people just look at the glamour of it. It's like, oh, hey, you created the website, you get to create content, so cool. And nobody sees, like, it's like a glacier, right? Nobody sees all the other stuff that are underneath it. So the thing that I've always loved chatting with you on is the transparency and the self-awareness you have on a lot of these things that you're sharing. Because I think, the reason why I wanted to do podcasts like this and I want to bring people like you is you're sharing something that I think already, like, this theme of this live stream so far is like misconceptions about reality, like misconceptions on all this time spent on social media. Realistically, you're seeing less inferior content, and not a lot of brands have pushed it. If anything, I've actually seen better TV commercials from this than social media has, if that makes sense, which is like Heineken had a really good spot about Zoom, and it made me think about it. It's like, oh, nobody on social is ever going to see this, but that was a really good TV spot. It's I'm with you, and I love the fact that you were saying, like, I could be doing something else, but I love creating content, so I'm going to do it. And you found that thing, so it makes you go. And
But it's funny you talked about Heineken. It's actually, I can only think of two brands right now that I think did good with advertising, whether it's on TV, social, or whatever, during this pandemic. Heineken is one, because they use real life situations. Like being on a Zoom call and your phone is falling, or trying to do happy hours with your friend.
Exactly.
Everything that goes wrong. And I think Google did a good job as well. They usually do. But like seeing this like thank you teachers videos, which I like, for everyone, I think, have a renewed respect for teachers. We talk a lot about healthcare workers and everything they do right now. But I think it was day 3 of the school being closed down in New York. And I saw this tweet from that guy. I said, like, I am half an hour into homeschooling my boy, and I now don't understand why teachers are not paid $1 million per month.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think like transparency, and it starts with like respect is really big for me, and like I respect people that are open and transparent about, dude, it is a struggle. It's like even that guy that you think even that celebrity that you think is making so much like easy money or stuff, they don't. There's a lot of things going on. I mean, first of all, I wouldn't like to be famous because like I like to be free to go to my store around the corner whenever I want and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also like before they became celebrities, they had to go through what entrepreneurs go through. Do your own promotion, do your own bookkeeping, and like all these admin tasks.
Yeah.
Is like being a famous influencer. Like they have to do that themselves. I don't know many of them that actually have a team of people in the background doing things for them.
Right. No, for sure. I love the fact that you've also brought up bookkeeping like 17 times. So, Geoff,
painful,
yeah.
If anyone out there has a free bookkeeping service, I'll buy it.
There we go. If you're a bookkeeper or wanted to do something cool, Geoff, hit him up. I will try to get people connected. All right, I think we are resuming broadcast. I had internet issues. Shout out to AT&T for not being a reliable service, and please fix. I feel like John Oliver always shitting on AT&T, even though he's part of the HBO Time Warner family. But anyways, Geoff, good to have you back on the live stream. So yeah, the thing I want to talk about was brands and what you think a lot of the brands should be thinking in the near future of like what they should be doing during this time, and really like taking advantage sounds like such a bad word, but like really elevating their brand during this time and something they should be really thinking about.
I think that I've read a lot of things about like brands, like marketers arguing like should we do differently? Should we stop advertising? Should we do more? And I'm like, people are still buying things, and people more than ever need to be entertained and kept busy. So no, don't stop advertising for sure. So maybe you need to change what you're saying, but like don't stop advertising. And two, and we were just saying that for like the 2 minutes when we were offline. It's I love all these companies that have done something good. Like just yesterday, Headspace, the meditation and mindfulness app, just said they're gonna be free for everyone who's unemployed in the US. And I love that they're doing that on the honor system as well. So you just have to say that you're unemployed and you get it. I love all this. I got like this this WeWork. WeWork, which is like giving discounts because like you still pay but you can't be there, so they're giving you a discount, and I think that's smart. And these are companies that can take the heat potentially and lose a bit of revenue right now, but by showing up and being there, people are gonna remember that. Internet companies, they don't do anything, they don't give us a discount. Actually service is worse than ever, not improving anything. Mobile phone companies, where are they? It's like I remember like you and I went through the hurricane in Florida, and Verizon was showing up how they were like waiting to fix everything. Where's Verizon now? What are they doing? So yeah, like brands should do not more or not less, just do what they do, but be aware of the situation of the people you're talking to.
No, I like that.
If you're a car brand, now is not the time to sell a car. Now is the time to help me fix my car. And if you are one of the 32 brands that did the exact same TV spot about COVID-19, I'm sure you've seen that video on the web. All saying the same things. I'm like, fire your agency now. Like, they're being lazy. But,
no, I really think you're on something. It's like I asked you the question, what brand should be doing more of, and then you said it back. It's like, don't change anything, just be who you are. And I love the fact that, because I think 90% of people, and probably like most brands, are just paralyzed in fear of like, what if we say or do something wrong, when consumers I think are not thinking in that way, right? We're not thinking like, oh, like it did wrong, but you not like doing common sense or the logic or just show a human element of what you were already doing is then really noticeable when other brands do it and you don't. So I think it goes back to what you were saying is during this time, there should have been a lot more opportunities for better content, whether it's TV, social, or whatever, just better content, better messaging, better advertising. And everybody's response has been like, taking advertising out or thinking only in bottom term. And you
Yeah.
know, the agency that you and I share together is always about if it doesn't lead to sales, don't do it. I think this is the time where you look at not that philosophy. Look at the long-term benefits what your brand could be doing by saying a specific message. You're doing goodwill. So, yeah, no,
I've been the term I've like coined and used a lot lately is called selfless marketing.
hmm,
And
yeah,
that's what we should be doing now. It's like it's kind of like loyalty, you know, like thank you for being a customer for so long, and now it's hard, and now I want to do something for you. Maybe I can't give you free product, maybe I can't slash the price on my product because I'm a business, but I can give you something else, you know, like give you hope, or like 5 minutes of like fun commercial, like put a freaking stand-up comedian on 30 seconds instead of an ad and make me laugh, you know.
yeah,
But I also think it back to one of the points we did before, the industry, like the population, where we're just not ready for that.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
you hear so many people saying, well, oh, I can't shoot a commercial now because I don't know how to shoot a commercial without having 20 people in the studio that are just like feeling like they get involved, you know, and
yeah.
having like the clients in the room to give feedback. Well, yeah, we were not ready. So I hope we're going to learn from that. I've just, you know, a friend of mine just shot a commercial and they have this Facebook, they actually use the Facebook portal for the
Mm-hmm,
clients to be able to follow what's going on around and like
yeah,
give
yeah.
live feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And like we have the technology, we just like don't know how to do it. It's crazy.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because the technology has always been there for all this
Yeah.
remote working, all this communication, all these things. And then it took us a pandemic to kind of use it. And, you know, it reminds me a lot of like what Richard Ness said back at Zimmerman, where we were. He basically is like, "Hey Tony, love the fact that you have all this equipment. It's not going to mean shit if you don't create content with it." And pretty much
Yeah.
for 2 years, he was right. I had all this content, all this equipment, and I didn't do anything with it. And the fact that now it took a pandemic to use it, but it's just funny that what you're hitting on is something is that we've all of us have had content and have had resources to do all the things we have. And that's, I think, like the one innovation during this pandemic that has like opened people's eyes on like how they're looking at businesses and how they're looking at things. But to your point, we've only scratched the surface. We haven't pushed it all the way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I love the fact that you use the Facebook portal as an example because nobody, like pretty much nobody that I've seen review Facebook portal positively, but I can see
Yeah.
it just having a stand there and have that follow somebody around and having them say like, hey, do you like this shot? Do you like what this is going on? That's
Yeah.
very useful. So it's like technology that we thought was crap that is actually becoming very useful and like seeing different uses. Like it just shows you how impactful influencers are and how reviews are and how like what people's
Yeah.
consumers expectation is of everything.
But it's also like brand themselves, you know. Sometimes you build like a brand for your product and you say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm building this product and it's made for that. And then you never foresee how people are going to use it, right?
Good point.
I'm pretty
Good point.
sure that Zoom didn't create a video platform for people to have drinks.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
wasn't why they created it. Yet
Mm-hmm.
that's what's happening. Or having dance parties, you know, and
Right.
that's what people are doing on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a nice reminder that, you know, your product belongs to the people and how
Yeah.
what they're gonna choose to do with it. And you can have these big ideas of I'm building this platform for X, Y, Z, but if that's not what people want to use it for, you should just be glad they're using it.
I really love that because so many people have an idea of what they think their brand is or what they want it to be. The only truth is you put it out and the consumers will tell you what it is. That's the only
Exactly.
truth.
Yeah.
And whether it's a product, whether it's your social media spot, it doesn't matter how good you think it is. Your customer's going to tell you how good it is, and that's the only truth. So, yeah, I freaking love that.
Yeah. Power to the people, right?
Power to the people, my dude. Well, listen, I can chat with you forever on all of this. But you know, I really appreciate your time. I can't wait to make the snackable social media content from some of the stuff that you've said. Like it was absolute gold. I know I'm going to be re-listening to this because there's a lot of things that I took and learned a lot from. To close out the stream, here I'll leave it up to you. How do you want to close the stream? What do you want to promote? What do you want to say to the people?
I think that I would love for people who watch this right now, at least for a few of them, to like grab the camera, grab the equipment they've got lying around for 2 years, and start doing something. And the only bad content you can create is the one you don't create. So just go out there, do it. There's always going to be trolls and idiots that are going to be like slashing you and saying it's bad and crap. Guess what? They're just jealous, man. Just so go out there, create content, and make my social media feeds more fun. Like please go and entertain me. But yeah, I think we should just keep to what we just said before. It's just like whatever we do now only has value when people use it, and that's their choice to use it the way they want.
My man, Geoff.
If there's something people should keep, is that.
Love it. Well, listen, you dropped some really good knowledge. Really appreciate your time today, and as always. And everybody, if you're not subscribed to We Are Social Media's emails, or they send you a blast, like I highly recommend it. It's a good thing to look at in your emails. Check out his site. Check out Geoff's Instagram. I'll link that in the comments below. Geoff, thank you, my dude, and we will talk soon, my man.
Danny, can't wait to come and visit you in California soon.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. All right.
All right. Cheers.
See you, buddy.
Bye.